Hello, this is Mr. Woodruff. I'm here today to show you how to make a slider for your lever arm on your mousetrap car. This will allow you to change the length of your string very easily, and I've come up with a design that I think will work on the Lulzbot printers. So let's go to SolidWorks. Sorry, I thought SolidWorks was already open, but let's let SolidWorks open here, and we're going to start a new part. All right, my computer's being slow. Sorry about that. All right, so new part in SolidWorks. I'm going to use a center rectangle to start with. So center rectangle. This is under the sketch tab. Remember, if you don't have your tabs, you can come up here to the right white part of the screen and right click, go to tabs and click any tabs that you would like. I will be using the sketch and features tab for this part. Okay, so sketch tab, center rectangle tool. So I'm going to start at the origin and left click once, left click again, and I have a rectangle. I'm going to go to smart dimension and I'm going to make this rectangle 0.5 of an inch on one side. I'm going to hit escape to get out of the smart dimension tool. I'm going to click on this side that I just dimensioned. I'm going to hold control. I'm going to click on the side over here. I'm going to let go of control, and I'm going to make these equal to one another. So now those are both 0.5 of an inch. You can see my part right now is fully defined. You could also smart dimension the other side at 0.5, but I like using the relationship equal. Okay, so now I'm going to extrude this. So I'm going to go to the Features tab, Extruded Boss Base, and I'm going to extrude this 0.5 of an inch and click the green check mark. Essentially, what I've done is I've made a cube. Okay, so now I'm going to put a hole through this cube. So I'm going to go to the Sketch tab, and I'm going to use a center line. I like using center lines when I make parts. I'm going to click center line, and I'm just going to click right here on the top of my part, and I'm going to make a line right here from corner to corner. Right? And now I've got a midpoint on this center line that I can use to line up my hole. So I'm going to go to the Sketch tab, Circle tool, and I'm going to go to the midpoint on that center line that I just drew, put my pencil tip right at the midpoint, click, and make a circle. Now I'm going to smart dimension this circle at 0.25 of an inch. So 0.25 of an inch. And there's my hole. I'm going to go to the Features tab and actually change this circle into a hole. I'm going to do Extruded Cut. Over here on the left-hand side, under my Cut Extrude window, I'm going to change the direction here where it says Blind. I'm going to change it to Through All. I'm going to hold down my center scroll button, make sure it's going the right way. It is. Green check mark. Boom. I've got a hole. All right. So now I am going to add some more depth to this block so we can add a slot for a nut so we can screw a screw into the nut and hold down the slider as it moves up and down the dowel rod. So I am going to go to my sketch tab, and this time I'm going to use a corner rectangle. And it asks me what side do I want to draw this rectangle on. I'm just going to click on this front side right here. I'm going to start in the upper right-hand corner and go all the way down to the lower left-hand corner like that. Okay, now I'm going to just go straight to my Features tab, and I'm going to go to Extruded Boss Base. And I'm going to extrude this out another 0.25 of an inch. 0.25 of an inch blind, green check mark. Boom. I've extruded that out 0.25 of an inch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a slot right here. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the sketch tool and I'm going to use a center line. Okay. It asks me where I want to draw. I'm going to click on this top face here and I'm going to draw from this bottom left-hand corner up somewhere on this side right here. Okay, I'm not really concerned about the height of it. I just do not want to go to that midpoint there. I just want to go to the side right here. And remember, we made this extension right here, 0.25 of an inch. So I'm going to go to Smart Dimension, and I'm going to click on this lower right-hand corner right here, and then come up to my point where the center line intersects this vertical line, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to make that 0.25 of an inch. That's exactly the distance that we increased this block by. So now, again, I've got another center line here that I can use to make my slot. So I'm going to come up to the Sketch tab, and I'm going to go to the Center Rectangle tool this time, and I'm going to start at that midpoint again. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Come on, midpoint, where are you? There it is. So I'm going to click on that midpoint and then make my slot, something like that. Okay, I'm going to smart dimension my slot. So I figured out that this distance, this length distance here, this should be something like 0.305. You might have to experiment with that a little bit, depending on the 3D printer you're using. I tried two different Lulzbots printers, and they both worked with 0.305 of an inch. And now I'm going to do the height here, smart dimension, and I'm going to smart dimension that height at 0.10 of an inch. All right, there's my slot. Now I need to cut my slot. So I'm going to go to the Features tab. I'm going to go to Extruded Cut, and I'm going to extrude this to a depth of 0.36 of an inch. So over here on the Cut Extrude menu, over here on the left-hand side under Direction 1, I'm going to go to Blind, and I'm going to change this to 0.36 of an inch, green check mark. Okay, now I've got a hole for a nut. Now I need to create a hole for the screw that can go through this piece of plastic, go through my nut, and then tighten down on the dowel rod. Okay, so I am going to, guess what? I am going to draw a center line. Actually, no, I'm not going to draw a center line this time. I'm going to go to Sketch, and I'm going to go to the center rectangle, or sorry, circle tool, just circle tool. It asks what face I want to draw, and I'm going to draw on this face right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start it right on the origin right here, right on the origin. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I lied. I hit escape. I'm going to go back to the circle tool, and I'm going to draw a circle vertical of the origin there. See how I have the vertical flag? I'm going to click, and I'm going to make a circle. Okay. Now I'm going to smart dimension. So I'm going to smart dimension this hole at 0.16. To make sure that this circle stays vertical of the origin, I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to click on the center of my circle. I'm going to hold down the control button and select the origin, let go of control, and I'm going to make those vertical of one another. The last thing I'm going to do is one more smart dimension. I'm going to click on the center of the circle, and then the top edge of my part, I want that to be 0.16 of an inch. That's halfway down the depth of that cut that we just made, the slot for the nut. And so now I'm going to cut this through all the way through to this center hole right here. So I'm going to go to Features, Extruded Cut, and I'm just curious if I go to Direction 1 here, and if I click up to Surface, let's see if this works. Can I click on the inside of this? Yeah, that works. So I'm going to click on the so let me show that again. It was on blind. I'm going to change it from blind to up to surface. I'm going to move my part with my center scroll button until I can see the inside of that cylinder. And I'm going to click on the inside of that cylinder, click the green check mark, and boom, there's my hole. So now I've got a slider that'll slide up and down. I could put my nut in here, and then I could put my screw through the nut, tighten it down, and it'll tighten on the dowel rod, and the dowel rod will go through this part right here. Okay, now the last thing that I want to do is create a place for my string so I can take the slack out of my string. So now I'm going to go to the Sketch tab, and I'm going to use a corner rectangle tool again. I get this yellow message on the side asking me where I want to draw. I'm going to click on this face right here. I'm going to go to the upper right-hand corner, or excuse me, upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to click on that corner and come up. Oh, I'm on the center rectangle tool, and I want a corner rectangle tool. So I hit escape, corner rectangle tool. I'm going to start on this corner in the upper left-hand part of, or like portion of my part. I'm going to click on that point and come all the way down, somewhere down here, like that. Okay, now I'm going to smart dimension. And I am going to smart dimension this at, let's see, I think I'm going to smart dimension this at 0.5 of an inch. Okay. And I want to extrude this out again. So I'm going to go to features, extruded boss base, and I'm going to extrude this out this time blind point 0.30 of an inch. And I'm going to click, oh, and I'm going to click the green check mark, 0.3 of an inch, green check mark, boom. Okay, so now I've got this piece. I'm going to do another slot right here. Okay, so this time I'm going to do another center line. So I'm going to go to sketch, center line. I'm going to click on this top surface right here. I'm just going to go from this lower left-hand corner up here all the way up here to, actually, no, it's actually easier if I go the other way. Sorry, I'm going to go center line from the upper left-hand corner down here to this point right here. Okay, so now I've got a center line I can draw my slot on. So this time I'm going to use the center rectangle. I'm going to find that midpoint again. All right, there it is. I click on that midpoint. I make my little slot. Smart dimension. I'm going to make this slot a little bit bigger because we're going to have to put holes in here for the string to come through, and we need space for that as well. So this time I'm going to make this a width here of 0.18 of an inch, and I'm going to make this height for this specific slot 0.31 of an inch again. Okay, so it's a little bit thicker than the slot over here. I'm going to go to features, extruded cut. I'm going to, again, extrude this down 0.36 of an inch. So I'm going to change where it says up to surface right here. I'm going to change to blind, and I'm going to make this 0.36 of an inch and click the green check mark. Okay, so now I've got another slot. I need another hole here for the screw. This slot is again for a nut. I need a hole for a screw. So I'm going to just go to the sketch tab, circle tool. I'm going to click on this face right here. And I'm going to draw this even with the origin. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just going to draw a circle. Okay. Now, what I want to do here, though, is I want to line it up with the center of this piece right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this midpoint up here. If you can't find that midpoint, one thing you can do is you could right-click on this line up here and click Select Midpoint, and then hold Control, select the center of my circle, let go of Control, I'm going to make that vertical. Okay. Now I'm going to smart dimension. I'm going to smart dimension this hole at 0.16 of an inch. And I need a depth again. So from the center of the circle to this edge up at the top, that should be half of the depth, which would be 0.18 of an inch. And then I'm then going to go to my features tab, extruded cut, and I'm going to cut. Let's see if we can do up to surface again, just for something new. I'm going to go up to this surface right here. Okay, and this inside surface, green check mark, and boom, I've got a little hole. And what this is going to do is we can pinch the string in between the nut, hopefully, and the screw. And so now we just need holes for our string. So last cut, I'm going to go to sketch, circle tool. Okay, I'm going to draw on this face right here. And again, I'm going to just draw a circle. I'm going to find the midpoint up here, click, hold Control, click the center of the circle, let go of Control, make that vertical. Okay, I'm going to go to Smart Dimension. I'm going to make this hole, or this circle, 0.11 of an inch. And I need to go, let's see, from, let's see, I guess it's smart dimension. Sorry, I didn't think this through. I'm going to click the center of this circle, and I think this edge right here, and I'm going to make this, I can't do that. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I can't do that because I did this relationship here, which I shouldn't have done. And I can't go back. I don't want to re-record this whole video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this relationship here, this vertical relationship. I'm going to click on it, turn it blue, and hit delete. Okay, now I'm going to go to Smart Dimension. I'm going to click the center of my circle. I'm going to click this edge right here, and I'm going to make that 0.12. And I think if I've done my math right, when we cut through, we'll just barely miss this edge right here. So we're going to go to Features, Extruded Cut, And I'm just going to click through all this time. Let's see if I did that math right. Green check mark. Yep, it didn't cut out anything in. See how we just barely missed that edge right there. So that'll work for us. And that's my part. We can go ahead and 3D print this. So I'm going to go ahead and save this part. I'm going to call this, I don't know, arm slider example. I'm going to click save. After this saves, make sure to save everything as a SolidWorks file first. Always, always, always save it as a SolidWorks file. Now I'm going to click Save As and save it as an STL file. I'm going to click Save, and I have to click Yes here. Okay, and then OK. I'm going to open up Cura, and I'm going to open up the file. I'm going to find that STL file, arm slider example, click Open. And this is, oh, it didn't orientate it the way I wanted it to. Okay, good. This is a good example then. So what I don't want here, let's see if I can turn this around. Sorry, the controls are a little bit different than close, similar, but different than SolidWorks, and it always throws me. So if I print this way, I have this gap here, and I'm going to have to print supports. I don't like that. I don't think it should be orientated that way. So I'm going to flip this part. So I'm going to click on the part, and I'm going to click rotate over here. And I want to rotate this part 180 degrees in the red direction because I want these slots to be on top when I print. So I'm going to click, let's see, it's not 180 degrees. It would be 90 degrees, I believe. Let's try that. Boom. Yep. And that's exactly what I want. I want those slots on the top there because uh, I don't have to use supports that way. Now, you can try to print with supports. I've printed with supports and without supports, and I've got very similar results, honestly. So I don't even think you really need supports on this. So I think you could go to recommended and you could click off supports. Now you could also click generate supports. You're just going to have to take your supports out. I honestly didn't see a difference. And so generate support is fine. No support is fine. Either way you want to go, take your SD card, put it in your computer. Oh, well, this is the SD card from the 3D printer, of course. And after this slices, I'm going, or after I get this little arrow here, come on, little arrow, where are you? Why is the arrow not coming up? Don't know. I heard the SD card. I don't know if you can hear that. So the little arrow should come up once it recognizes the SD card. There it is. I click the little arrow, save to removable drive, save to removable drive. Now I can eject, take my SD card, and go print my part. So I hope this helps. I appreciate you watching the video, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.